Are you currently an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur with the goal of creating a food product to bring to market? If so, tune into this episode. This week, I have an inspiring conversation with Gloria Badilla, founder and owner of Chilttepica Salsa. We discuss the steps Gloria took to bring her product to market, the moment she knew she needed to quit her full-time job and go all in on Chilttepica, and how she built a team that has stood by her side for 10 plus years. Welcome to the No Hesitations podcast, the show where restaurant leaders learn tools, tactics, and habits from the world's greatest operators. I am your host, Kristen Marvin, with Solutions by Kristen. I've spent the last 2 decades in the restaurant industry and now partner with restaurant leaders to help them overcome burnout, increase retention, reignite their passion, and drive successful businesses. I also work directly with restaurant leaders through one-on-one coaching and group workshops to help them identify their blind spots, build their confidence, and overcome challenges in their business. If you're curious about learning more, visit my website at kristenmarvin.com/contact to book a 15-minute goal planning session. This podcast is sponsored by Schedulefly. Schedulefly provides a simple, web-based and app-based restaurant employee scheduling software backed by legendary customer service. If you are using pen, paper, Excel, or a fancy scheduling software with tons of bells and whistles that you don't use, Schedulefly is perfect for your business. When I was a regional manager handling 7 locations, Schedulefly was our go-to for scheduling. It's hands down the easiest platform that I've ever worked with. And their employee scheduling tool is awesome for shooting out mass messages about crucial restaurant updates. Visit schedulefly.com and mention the No Hesitations podcast to learn more and get 10% off. I hope you enjoy this episode. Gloria, thank you so much for being here today. Gloria and I met, just to give you listeners a little bit of backstory, we met at a Tucson City of Gastronomy event the third Thursday of every month down in Arizona Forge. We have a heritage food series, and Gloria is you're certified, a certified artisan for
Yes.
TCOG, correct? Yep. So Gloria was able to come on or be a featured guest and share her story. And I was absolutely blown away with your drive, your determination, the story of your company, which is Chilttepica Salsa, which we're going to talk a little bit more about in a little bit, but also your journey of creating the product, getting into Costco, and the community that you've been able to build and the team that you've been able to retain. So excited today to really showcase a lot of those stories and help people understand where they can find your product and just learn a little bit more about you. So thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having us and to have this space to share our story.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's start with telling the listeners about what Chiltepines are. Will you talk about what Chiltepines are and then why you decided to use Chiltepines to start Chilttepica?
Okay, chiltepin, it's a pepper. A lot of people gets confused if it's a pepper or a berry because they're so small. They look like a berry, but it is a pepper. It's a native to the Arizona Sonora desert, and it's a pepper that we grew up having on our table. So when the time came to that this dream of ours as an immigrant to this country, having your own business, it was not far from our thoughts to make something with chiltepin. And the chiltepin, it's called the mother of all peppers. It's one of an Asian pepper. And also, I don't know if you guys know that the only reserve of chiltepin is here in Arizona. It's a little bit east of Tubac, and there's tours that sometimes a couple of people do here in Tucson to the reserve. And it's you better do it during the fall or something like that. It gets too hot in the summer to do that.
Absolutely. So this was really a family business for you and something that's really close to your heart.
Yes, it is. Chiltepin pepper came to us, since I can remember seeing it actually in our Nana's house older generations would have chiltepín and a little molinito, which we call chiltepineros, in the middle of the table. So when you were just having whatever you were having, a lunch or breakfast, you would have that so handy that they were right there for you just to crush and to put it over your food.
Awesome. And is that what kind of inspired you to make all the products in your line? Because you've got the salsa, right? You've got the peppers themselves, you've got the spice blends, right?
Yes, actually, it just kind of evolved from salsa. Everything that we have right now, it has been a process as life takes you through different journeys. You just kind of develop what's next for us. The way we started Chilttepica, I can tell you, was not in our future, in our radar to go this way. We knew we wanted to do something like have a small business, a family business, being that we like that sort of stuff. At the time we decided to do this, it was we had regular jobs. My husband was working and I was working, and a couple of friends of ours lost their home around the 2009, 2008 crash. The housing market crashed. And that's one day, actually, I had both of my neighbors lost their homes.
Wow.
And one very close friend of us. So we decided to, it was a New Year's Day, and we were talking, my husband and myself, saying, what would happen to us if we had no job tomorrow? And then that's why we said, let's do something. And we did not even have the slightest idea how to become an entrepreneur, nothing at all. We
Sure.
just knew I was working in the accounting business and he was in operations for Budweiser. So it was just totally totally out for
Yeah.
us. And then I said, well, since you are always in charge of making fresh salsa for our friends and family, I said, we'll make salsa and we'll sell it. And that was the end of the conversation. And a couple of days later, I said, but if we're going to make something, we're going to make it properly, nutrition label with a nice label. And one of the things that I told them, I said, I don't want to see Gloria Salsa on a jar. I knew I just didn't want my name on a jar for salsa. So it took me quite a few months to come up with the name of Chilttepica, which is part of the chiltepín pepper, the first part, and tepica in Spanish is to get hooked on something.
Awesome.
So, and we just put it Chilttepica. The double T was just for fun.
Yep.
And I wanted to introduce a little bit of our culture, being Mexican born. I did put our flag, our Mexican flag colors on my little flower on top of the name. So that was just a little thing of my background there too.
Yeah, I love when you were originally telling your story, one of the things that really stood out to me was how intentional you are about what you want. You seem very clear, very driven. You know, you talked about your accounting background and how you like things very orderly, and you talked about the process of, you know, filling in all that paperwork with Costco. But it's funny to me. I love that this kind of idea just crafted from kind of started as a backup plan of how are we going to, you know, protect our family and our investment and have a little bit of a safety net. When did you really flip that switch and say, okay, we're going to go all in here and make this a full blown business?
Actually, it took quite a few years. Since we started about 20, I want to say 11 in the midst, you know, it was kind of crazy because we were doing it on Fridays, Saturdays, because my husband was working 4/10, so he was off Friday, but I was on my work on Friday. So we were trying to do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as we could. And it was crazy few years there because I was doing a farmer's market on Thursdays. So I would leave work at 3:30, run to my farmer's market at 4. And going back to my story about Costco, it was just, it was me being persistent because it never dawned on me until the health department, when we were doing all the paperwork, said, "Where are you going to sell your salsa?" And then I said, I had no idea. Me, other than knocking doors and
Yeah.
everything, this is my product. Would you carry it? And I said, well, if you ask me, I want to sell it at Costco. And that kind of sparked something for me. And I started emailing corporate in San Diego. 2 years later, that's when they gave us the opportunity. They gave us an appointment, I remember, in September of 2014. And we made our first delivery in January 2015.
Oh, wow.
And when we landed that opportunity, I remember asking my boss, and I still keep tabs on him, and I love him. He was a great boss to work for. He was very, very nice. And I told him, I said, Bill, I need to go part-time. This is getting crazy on me. And he goes, Gloria, you can't leave me now. He was going to lose the controller or something. Something was happening.
Sure.
It was a family-owned business, so we were very tight. And I said, Bill, I cannot do this. I can't. I'm going crazy. And then I said, I need to, or I will leave. And I left. I mean, it broke my heart. I couldn't. It was hard for me to leave that job, but I couldn't go part-time. So, make a long story short, we're in Costco, and my husband was telling me for months, you need to leave that job. It's going crazy. So it was hard because when you're structured and you have your two paychecks, you have your mortgage, and it's like, how are we going to do this? What about if Costco says no in 6 months?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Right.
So I said, as long as your paycheck covers our mortgage and we can eat, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. And I learned from you that, and I know Costco eventually did, you share they did pull you guys out or put you back on the wait list with the pandemic or what have you. But I remember you telling us that day that Costco carried 8 local products, which I had no idea. And so every time I go to Costco now, I'm looking for the local product. But you also shared a little bit about, what the marketing behind everybody that's handing out samples at Costco too, and that's an additional cost to the product, right, to the business owner. So those things were super fascinating. I want to go back real quick to the farmers markets, because one of the things that I love about Tucson is that our farmers markets are all year round. And there are some listeners and some clients that I've worked with that are creating products or have created products. And we talk a lot about the farmers markets here because they're big business. I mean, they're low cost to entry, and it's a pretty consistent clientele. I know it can be seasonal here with the snowbirds and summertime, but talk a little bit about how did you find success with the farmers markets and introducing your product that way, or would you not do that again? Tell us about your experience with that.
I love farmers markets because it's a one-on-one. And business-wise, I can tell you that you don't personally, okay, Chilttepica did not make a lot of money going to farmers market.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the reasons is being so particular with things, I noticed that a lot of small business don't, and don't take me wrong if any small business are listening to us today here, but it is cost effective. It's not cost effective, let me put it this way, because liability, not a lot of small business carry liability.
Mm.
And being the person that I am, like I said, I had to. I mean, I couldn't take a chance with a product not having liability.
Sure.
And it gets kind of expensive. A lot of homemade products or small business don't go to the extent of having, like all my products have nutrition labels.
Mm-hmm.
And some of, I don't want to say all, but some of the products on farmers markets don't go to that extent.
Yeah.
It's kind of expensive. It's about $500, between $300 and $500 to do a nutrition label at the U of A agriculture lab.
Okay.
Oh, it adds up. I was able to do it because my husband and myself, we were working at that time. So we were trying to, like another child, to get him off the road with the
Sure.
tools, with the tools that you needed for Chilttepica. Because I said to my husband, if a business calls, I want to make sure my product has a barcode because it's going to be easier. I was thinking on the end of the customers that I was looking for, the stores. It's going to be easier for them to have a barcode, to have a label, to have a nutrition value, to have a full finished product. I could go and have a little bit of an edge on another product.
Yeah. So you were setting yourself up for that long-term vision of being able to be in those retailers and making that initial investment to say, you know what, this is going to give me an edge when I go in and meet with these people. Instead of them having to say, you've got to do all these things. You're like, I'm here. I'm ready to go to market. Let's go.
Yes.
Love that.
But I can share with you that the farmers markets are wonderful. You never know who you're going to meet there.
Yeah.
And at the farmers market, one farmers market that I met a guy that he was an executive for Costco. Okay. Which I didn't know. He made my day because he said, he made my day in the way that he goes, I said, just take the salsa. And he was looking for chiltepines. He goes, no, 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 no. I buy chiltepines.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, I didn't have the chiltepines jarred already. It was just the salsa that we were making at the time. And I said, but just take my salsa. And the guy didn't want to take the salsa. I said, just take my salsa. I'll give it to you. And he goes, well, I'm executive for one of our local Costco's,
And you're like, please now really take the salsa.
Yes. Since I'm emailing over there, I said, you need to take my salsa. But the guy took my salsa, gave it to him, and I said, I'll sell you chiltepines. Come back next week and I'll have chiltepines for you. Well, the following week, he could have told me that he was whoever. He didn't give me a business card or nothing, but he made my day saying that he was who he was. And sure enough, he was an executive for Costco.
Wow.
Because the following week, I had his chiltepines, of course, and he came and gave me his business card.
Nice.
So I don't know if it was my 20,000 emails that I sent to corporate in San Diego, or he probably called them and said, this salsa is good. Give it a try for this woman that is bugging me. So
that's great.
But it was.
Yeah. Meant to be, right? Meant to be. I love that. Yeah. You never know who you're going to meet at those markets for sure. Hey there, listeners. Before we dive back into today's episode, I want to take a moment to address something many of us can relate to: burnout. We live in a fast-paced world, and sometimes it feels like we're constantly running on empty. If you're nodding your head right now, feeling the weight of burnout on your shoulders, I want you to know that you're not alone. Recognizing the need for change is the first step towards a healthier, more balanced life. So, if you're ready to make a change, head over to my website at kristenmarvin.com/contact and schedule a 15-minute discovery call. This call is an opportunity for us to connect, chat about your unique situation, and see if there's any way that I can support you on your journey to a more balanced and energized life. Let's work together to design a lifestyle that brings you joy, purpose, and renewed energy. Don't let burnout hold you back. Empower yourself to thrive. Now let's get back to the show. Thanks for being here, and I look forward to connecting with you soon. Will you talk a little bit about your team and how large the team is now, and kind of what they're doing on a day-to-day basis? And again, you talked about retention and told a really cool story about some of the opportunities that you've been able to provide for the team, and would love for you to share that story with the listeners.
Yes, our team, we've been working with the same farmer for the past 10, 11 years. I think it was the first or second year that we ended up meeting this gentleman, and he puts his heart and soul, him and his wife, on the farm. We've been working together with him, and actually it was his wife's idea She was a teacher. She retired from a teacher job already, but it was her idea. Just employ where the farm is right by the river, Sonora River, and there's a lot of stay-home moms that probably had never held a job in their life.
Mm-hmm.
And her name is Santa, the wife of the farm, and Santa was saying, "Let's give these women a try." And the team right now, it's between 10 and 15 women
Wow.
that harvest our chiltepin. And it goes down when we start. Usually we start going up like 10, 12, up to 15. And then when it starts just not producing as much, the plant, we just kind of go down.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's really, really, how can I say, it's sad at the time that they push themselves a little bit more because they don't want to be the ones to leave first.
Yeah.
Because not that they depend on their check, but it's a really pride that they take on that themselves, because most of these women had never, actually, that I know personally, 3 of them had never pulled a check on their hands that had their name on it.
That's so cool. I think that's something that we take for granted. And when you said that like hit me in the heart with like a dagger. I was like, it just seemed to be a way of life for me. You know, as soon as I could start working, I started working, and I remember what it was like to get that first paycheck. And I love that you're giving opportunities to people like that. That's incredible.
Yes, and it's a bunch of stories that you come across with these women. They have we gave them the opportunity to go a full day or chop it in half, depending on their needs, that they have to pick up kids from school or whatever. It's a small town, so not a lot of them drive, so they walk, and it's probably less than a mile that they have to walk and stuff like that. So we gave them the opportunity to work half a day or break the day in 2 or something. And they decided not to. They decided to come early. They sent the kids to school and come to work. And they were doing, they would get together and figure it out who's going to bring what for lunch. They would make like a brunch, like a potluck kind of thing for lunch. You bring the tortillas, I'll bring this, and stuff like that. So it was their social hour. It was a time just for them as women. So it was pretty cool, and it's been an amazing journey to see them grow and to be happy. We tried to do in Christmas, and it was really hard for us to decide, for Santa and myself to decide how do we give them an incentive, not making the other ones feel, because they all work really hard.
Mm-hmm.
So you cannot say you work harder than it's just like, and we try to raffle things out, and because it's hard, you cannot say you work harder than her or you did more than her. They're all a team, and they really, really put a team effort. All of them.
I mean, it sounds like there's been this, you've created an incredible community for your team. Has that happened organically amongst themselves, or is there something that you've done to kind of kickstart that?
No, actually, I think they did it themselves. I can't take credit for that, other than trying to give them the opportunity, because it went really fast. After we got the first few, they contacted their comadre, their neighbor, and they went like that. It went pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, when it's growing, it's wonderful. But when it's time that the plant is not producing as much peppers, and you have to scale back, it's like, who's going to go first? And it just breaks my heart. Who's going to go first?
Yeah, I mean, that's a very real thing in any seasonal business, right? Whether you're a restaurant or a product owner, how do you have those conversations with the team, knowing that it's going to happen every single year over and over and over again?
We try to do on seniority, and also, like, if someone has seniority and is going to stay behind, but she decides, I'm going to go on vacation this month, or I need the time for my family or something, and she can trade with someone that it's going to leave late first or something like that.
So you're empowering them to work together, cover the shifts, and own that communication.
Yes, it's hard. It's hard to say you're next.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, tell us what is next for Chilttepica.
Well, Chilttepica, in my journey, right through the pandemic, our world kind of rocked a little bit like everybody else's, and Costco put us on hold. So I had to kind of reinvent myself in a couple of items. And right now, I'm making our salsa mix. And actually, you gave me the idea, and right now was it you or someone in the room that we were the other day in December? Someone mentioned, because a lot of people are asking for the salsa. In Costco, I have no idea when they're going to call you back or nothing. I'm still under info. I'm still certified and everything, but they determine when they're going to call you. It's the buyers say so, and we go from there. And if they feel to give another product an opportunity, I can be on hold. God only knows to when. So what I'm doing right now, and I'm making the actual spice mix that you can do, and it's one serving. One serving would be about 4 cups of salsa, like one portion for you to have at home with your friends or something. I want to say it's like 3 or 4 cups, one portion. So I'm making the little, like a spice bag, but I don't want it just to be a spice bag. It's going to have color and it's going to have all that stuff.
Yep.
I'm having my photo shoot tomorrow, so
nice.
too. And have it available for you to take home, to buy it, take home, and just put it in your blender for your tomatoes, and you'll be all set.
I love that. That's a great idea. Good when you're traveling, good for shipping, for gifts, whatever. That sounds awesome. I can't wait to try that.
That is coming. The one that is coming sooner than that, since we're developing right now the actual pouch, it's our Chilttepica Limon. Our Chilttepica Limon, it would be, I don't even want to say their name, but I have to because people are familiar with the tajin. And the tajin. And this is a very clean product because it has the limon and it has the citric, which is citric acid, of course, because it's powdered, and chiltepin and a sea salt.
Okay.
So basically, this one will be out, I want to say, no more than a month. I need to just figure it out pricing. I got the product already on hand and make my little numbers match.
I love it. Are you envisioning this spice around the rim of beverages, on fruit? What do you want to do with this?
Actually, the Chilttepica Limon, I use it myself on everything. I've been doing it for a couple of years for myself and for my friends. And we decided to venture into it since I was reading that tajin and the chilitos that they sell, they have like a whole paragraph of items that they shouldn't be there.
The ingredients, yeah.
Yeah, the ingredients. And I said, well, move forward on this. So like I said, it's going to be called Chilttepica also, but it's going to be called, let me see, Chilttepica Limon.
Limon. Perfect. That looks great.
And all of our products, I'm trying to keep our same label, just I'm trying to make a brand. So when people say Chilttepica, they know who we are. I'm trying to keep it as level as I can. Our other products will be the same label, and it will say what it is at the bottom. This is our ground, Chiltepin. And that's one of my ideas because, like I said, I don't have a background on marketing or anything. I have been learning as I go.
Yeah.
And Chilttepica Limon should be out within a month, I want to say. No more than.
Awesome. Will you share with listeners where you can find your product in Tucson and then shipping options as well?
Yes. You can find our Chilttepica products in about a few stores in town. La Estrella Bakery has 3 locations. food co-op on 4th Avenue. Tucson Botanical Gardens, our products do really good in gift shops. So Tohono Chul, Tucson Botanical Garden, Native Seeds, the Westward Look gift shop also carries our products. And also in our website, you can order on our website. We ship all over the U.S. and it's Chilttepica Products, CHILTTEPICA.com.
Perfect.
And I do special orders sometimes if they want me to do like for an event that you don't want to, as a gift, you don't want to do the whole jar. And I can make smaller pouches for you. I do all kinds of, since I get to do it myself, I can make variations of our products.
I love it. Well, Gloria, thank you so much. Everybody listening, if you get a chance, please support local. Go find some Chilttepica online or in stores. If you're vacationing in Tucson too, and you want to take something local back with you or as a gift, please support Gloria and her team. They are just incredible. So, Gloria, we really appreciate you being here and sharing all your little nuggets of wisdom with the audience. Really appreciate that and can't wait for your next couple products to come out. So thank you so much for being here again.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Thank you to all your listeners for taking the time to listen to our project.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening this week. For more leadership tips, be sure to visit KristenMarvin.com and be sure to download my free step-by-step guide on how to retain your employees. We will talk to you next week.